music, when he listened that mantras, he felt something like hypnotic. There are research which shows that when you listen the music, it hits the dopamine neurons, and what happened actually, dopamine changed. The reason is that it basically lower down the stress hormones. Hello friends, it's pleasure to have you back on the channel of Clinical Care Insights. In our today's podcast, we are going to discuss about the music and music therapy. We all know about the music, we all listen the music, but there is a scientific background behind the music, and that scientific background today in this podcast I am going to decode. This music, it brings many things in our personality. Even a piece of good music can make our day perfect. Even a piece of music again can make our days sad. It means music can evoke our emotion. It can affect our emotion. What is the physiology behind the music? When you listen the music, it goes inside your brain. It goes inside the brain through the ears, and you know that ears are divided in different parts. Like medical students and the nursing student, they can correlate these things, or the students who are from the audience who are from the scientific background, they can correlate that our ear is actually divided into the three parts, starting with the outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. In the inner ear, there are cells, okay, that is called as the cochlear cells, and that cells basically actually containing the hairs. So whenever sounds goes inside our ear, it's hit the tympanic membrane, and eventually that translated into the hair cell. Basically that touch the hair cell, and when it goes to the hair cell change. See, the sound is the something called as the mechanical wave, but this hair cell, it have the one unique thing that it changes this wave, the mechanical wave, into the electrical impulse, into the electrical wave, and that electrical wave is carried out by the auditory nerve. Auditory nerve is basically attached to the cochlear cells, and whenever sounds comes, it's hit the tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane basically oscillate these hair cells, okay. It's like our hair, small hair, okay, and these small hairs when vibrate, it changes this sound into the electrical impulse. You can say the wave into the electrical impulse. Now this electrical impulse, it is carried out by the one nerve. That nerve basically connects the ear to the brain, and that nerve is called as the auditory nerve. So it goes to the brain. I will tell you the story what happened when sound goes to the brain, but remember, along with the ear, your skin can also feel the vibration of a sound, okay. So through the skin also sound goes to your brain. Through skin you have the receptors. Receptors are basically a small type of, you can say, bodyguard, or you can say it is like a delivery boy. So it is present in all over your body. So whenever sounds comes, it takes the sound and is sent to first your spinal cord, and that spinal cord actually connected with your brain, so it goes to your brain. Now when it goes to the brain, and surprisingly, that is something which make me to do this podcast. When it goes to the brain, it not actually specifically activate one part of brain. It's activate nearly, you can say, all the part of brain. Now what it means? It means whenever you listen the music, there is not any specific part which are going to activate it. No, there are mostly all the parts are activated. Now you may thinking that you are thinking that brain is the one, why I'm talking about the parts. Actually, my friends, you have many millions and trillions of, you can say, the neurons in your brain, okay, and these neurons, they organize themselves, okay, in such a fashion that they make small parts in the brain. Some parts are present superficially, some parts are buried inside, but the main surprise thing about the music is that it activates nearly all the parts. Now why I'm saying it's I'm emphasizing or forcing on this sentence that it activate all the sides. The reason is that when now I am speaking to you, you are listening my sound. You know what, my sounds only activating one part of your brain. Yes, only one part of the brain. Or whenever you are seeing the things, you are seeing this podcast, then only one part of your brain is now in an active phase. But when you listen the music, actually nearly it's activate all the parts. And it is not my concern. I will put the research papers which says that whenever a person listen to music, nearly activates all the parts. Now the thing is, when it's activate all the parts, then what's our use? The use is when it's activate. Now I'm going to tell you the part by part. Fine. So when you activate your reward system, basically something called as the limbic system. Limbic system is a specialized neural connections, okay, specialized nerve system which is present in your temporal region. Actually your brain is divided into different lobes. This is called as the frontal lobe, this is the parietal lobe, then backside is called as the occipital lobe, and the ear side is called as the temporal lobe. So it's activate one system that's basically control your emotions, your mood, that is called as the limbic system. Limbic system is concerned with many things. It regulates your mood, it regulates your this sense of fulfillment, gives you the hope, because okay, in the limbic system there's a one specific part, and that part is called as the substantia nigra. Okay, this substantia nigra, it's have the dopaminergic neurons. Fine. So whenever you listen the music, it goes inside your brain. Fine, it goes inside your brain, and in the brain, which area first I am talking, that's the limbic system. So it goes to your limbic system, which is basically concerned with emotion regulation, the sense of fulfillment, empathy. These things are regulated by the limbic system. And even your sexual desire, yes, your anger, your aggression, these all are controlled by the limbic system. So it goes to your limbic system, and it's hit those neurons which secretes the dopamine. And you know, whenever there is a presence of dopamine in your brain, you feel good, because dopamine is widely considered as the happy hormone. And what happened, you know, there are research which shows that when you listen the music, it hits the dopamine neurons. And what happened actually, dopamine neurons start oscillating, and simple words, start dancing as music beats, as music dance. You see, the music have the frequency, it is not constant, something constant, it's a rhythmic. Musics are rhythmic. There was one scientist who said that music is itself a world, and it's have their own language, and that language is universal. Music, you can say, the social glue which connects many peoples together, with regardless of the caste, religion, or community, or even the nationality. So music is a social glue. So whenever you listen the music, as music have the frequency is measured in the hertz. So whenever you listen the music have the rhythm, your this dopaminergic neuron means those neurons which secretes the dopamine, it also start dancing. Okay, it's also start dancing. It means if you listen to slow music, your brain, your basically what is called as the neuron dance in a normal wave pattern. When you listen the upbeats means like pop musics. So you have, you know, you just common observation, whenever you listen the music, your favorite music, then your body also moves, isn't it? Your body also starts moving. You start tapping, you start moving your finger, you start moving your shoulder. So why it's happened? Because as music beats moves, music shows the rhythm, and that rhythm hits the dopaminergic neurons, and neurons also start dancing. And these observations comes from one famous research, and that research shows that like our brain have the electrical activity. We know when you connect by some way, if you connect the electrical bulb to your neurons, the bulb start lighting. It shows the lighting because you have the electrical current inside your brain, and these you know that electricity shows the pattern. So our electrical activity of neurons shows the different waves, and that wave is medically captured by one technique that is called as the EEG, electroencephalogram. In your scalp there are electrodes which is get inserted and attached to the monitor, and in that monitor you see the different wave called as the alpha wave, beta wave, delta wave, gamma wave. And you know, when we attach the electroencephalogram electrodes to your scalp, and we do this EEG, then as I increase the volume of the sound, or as I increase the frequency of sound, your wave pattern also changes. It's synchronized basically between the sound waves to the electrical wave of our neurons. So this is how the music can impact our neurons. And we understand that music actually hits, and when music hits us, we feel no pain. That's the one thing, like many things hits us and we feel pain, but music is something, when music actually hits you, you feel no pain. It is about the one part about the reward system. You feel fine, comfortful, that's okay, very good, amazing, fantastic. But what else? The another thing is that when you listen the music, it's activate another parts also. It's activate basically your memory. It evokes your memory. Whenever you listen the music, you remember about your past, you remember about the old days. It depends upon the type of music and the content of music, but yes, it evokes our memory. It means it goes inside our those neurons which is actually participating in the memory formation. And you know what forms memory? It is the neuronal synapse. So basically it's strength our neuronal synapse. Synapse is just a meeting between the two neurons, okay, and through the synapse making, you can say the information get stored for a some time, that is a short term memory, or for a longer time, that is a long term memory. Now the another thing about the music is that main thing is, as it's activate our, you can say, the neuronal connection, it's activate our neurons, it also helps to manage the stress. And it is a common experience, you probably seen that whenever you feel some kind of sadness, and if you listen the upbeat music are like pop music, dance musics, okay, suddenly your mood get changed. The reason is that it basically lower down the stress hormones. It's lower down the stress hormone, that is the cortisol. It's lower down your cortisol level, and thereby it not only have the brain, you can say, managing capacity. Music not only have the brain managing capacity. Now a modern research shows that when you listen a specific kind of music, it's lower down your blood pressure, it's overcome the heart related problem. So music have the healing sensation. Music is a great healer, and now because music is a great healer, it is widely used in the medical science. Probably most of you know about the music therapy. Music therapy actually works, and it works in those diseases where medical science do not have the exact medicinal treatment, means pharmacological treatment. You know about the disease. There are two diseases called as the Alzheimer and Parkinson's disease. What happened in the Parkinson's disease? Actually, Parkinson's disease is commonly occurs in the older generations. So in the Parkinson's disease, basically what happened, your body muscles and body posture, it get disturbed in the mean of like you have the rigidity in muscle, okay, and you have very difficulty to initiate the movement. Initiation of the movement means if something, see, this is the piece of paper and it is held here. So if I want to take it, I need to initiate a movement. I need to initiate a kind of movement, but in this Parkinson's patients, they are unable to initiate this movement. This is a very bizarre condition. It's not easy. It's a very, very difficult condition. And above to all this is occurring in the old age. Already in the old age, muscles get disturbed, all the physiology start declining, and despite of having these all things, this problem starts. This is the one feature of Parkinson's disease, rigidity. Another one is the tremor, uncontrolled movement of fingers of the leg, like this tremors. Apart from that, the posture get disturbed. It becomes like bit tilt, okay, hunch shape, forward, you can say, bending. Body becomes forward bended. So these are the problems related with the Parkinson's disease. Now there are researchers, and forget about the research, not forget researchers, research are very important, just listen. There are hospitals which provide this music therapy to this Parkinson's patient, Parkinsonian patients. Parkinson is the movement disorder, always remember. And as I said you initially in this podcast, no, when you listen the music, specifically those music which have the upbeats, fine, your body, you start moving. Why? Because it hits your dopaminergic neuron. Yes, it hits your dopaminergic neuron, and your dopamine is responsible for initiation of the movement. You are moving, or you are thinking about to go and take the glass of water, to eat something. It is first your brain start pre-planning this concept. First your brain plan, okay, I have to go, and this is happening in the fraction of second. That is why you can't observe these all things. But these are the neurological facts. These are the neurological studies which shows that whenever we take things, we already first plan about that in our brain, and in that planning, dopamine is a main hormone, a main chemical. It's a main chemical which goes and activate those neurons which is actually connected with the muscles, and that is why you have the capacity to go and take the things. But in this Parkinson patient, these dopaminergic neurons start dying. So there are therapies and something called as the audio acoustic devices, fine, or also called as the vibroacoustic devices. Vibroacoustic devices, these are simply a musical chairs, okay, basically specifically designed headphones. In that, in a one proper frequency, they deliver the piece of music, and when this patient listen this music, they shows the movement. So this is also helping in the something called as the rehabilitation the Parkinson's patient. In the case of Alzheimer's, there is a problem related with the memory. Means this Alzheimer patients, they start forgetting the things. That is called as the medically dementia. Now in the dementia, what is actually happening? The neurons which is actually involved in the strengthening the memory or in the memory formation, they start getting old, or you can say they start getting destroyed because of the formation of some you can can say the misfolded protein called as the beta amyloid proteins, beta amyloid bodies. These are the certain unfolded chemicals. These are you can say garbage of our brain. Okay, when you become the old, you know that your brain have the cleaning system also. Whenever you go and sleep, there is some system called as the glymphatic system. It's basically clear out the toxics, whatever you accumulated in entire day, that is cleared in the night. So what happened in the case of Alzheimer's disease, this Alzheimer patients, this phenomenon of clearance, it gets disturbed. Okay, and due to that there is accumulation of certain garbage in your brain. That garbage is not cleared out by the glymphatic system, so that start accumulating, and if it accumulate more, it disturb those neurons which is involved in the, it is called as the storage of the information, the memory cells, the memory neurons. So you have the dementia, and that condition is called as the Alzheimer. Commonly it also occurs in the old age, and also those people who are addicted patients. Okay, now the thing is, when you listen the music, as I said, it evokes your memory, it evokes your emotion, it's basically activate your emotions. So whenever you listen the music, you can recall the thing. So it's also help in the Alzheimer's patient. You got my point? Now there are, you can say, the medicinal hospitals or medicinal companies which basically specifically manufacturing the specialized chairs, and that is what called as the vibroacoustic devices, and they deliver a piece of music on 40 hertz. 40 hertz is the frequency your neuron also communicate with the another neurons. So this is the one specific you can say the music frequency, and that is also prepared by the some of the singers, and you can listen this music. It is prescribed like 40 hertz music in the week, one time for 30 minutes for 4 weeks. This is the prescription. Okay, so most of the psychiatrists nowadays, they are prescribing the many antipsychotic, or you can say the psychological drugs, psychotic drugs, but apart from that they are also writing about the musical therapy. Yes, in India the use is less, but in the other countries they are widely using. Now in India, whenever I talk about the India, it gives something, like sense of onness. Okay, sense of like, if the musical concept we are understanding nowadays from understanding the foreign country research, but don't forget the history. Our history is too old. Our ancestors are not something who they not understand about the relevance of music. They do understand about the music. That is why in our any rituals, you see, they started with the music. In the villages, you can see the females, they sing a beautiful songs. What is the reason? The reason is that music gives you the sense of fulfillment, the peace. Yes, it gives you the peace. So most of the good things started with the music. Any program, you can say, even a person dies, that time also there are many community which sing a song, because they believe that if they sing a song, it gives the peace to the dead person. So music have relevance in our entire life. Now we talking about the music, you can say the history of India. So I will tell you something. There are some foreigners who came India and who went to what is called as the Gurukul. So Gurukul is the place where there are disciples and there are traditional gurus who basically teach his disciples. So the thing is, when he came, he's seen that there are something called as the disciples. Okay, that pupils, they basically chanting the mantras. And when that foreigner, he listens the music, when he listens that mantras, he feel something like hypnotic in terms of that now his body is not, he's under control. Okay, his body is basically melt in the surrounding. So he thought that what is the reason behind it. So he did the research and he come up with something called as the Sanskrit effect. Okay, this Sanskrit effect is tells that whenever you pronounce the Sanskrit mantras, the chanting, whenever you do the chanting, whenever you pronounce the mantras, what happened to your brain? Your brain literally increase in size. And remember, increase in the other body part size doesn't matter, but yes, it's absolutely matter. Whenever you have the great size of your brain, it matters a lot. It gives you the intelligence, the high capacity to think. Apart from that, you have the good memory. You can comprehend the other people's easily. You have the great empathic power. So he did the research and he found that there are certain areas in these basically students' brain that get enlarged, basically increase in the size of gray matter. So that is how the mantras, the Indian traditions actually works. They know the significance, and if you pronounce the Sanskrit mantras, is basically exercise your this orothecal area. It basically exercise your musculature of the mouth, gives you the relaxation. And remember, you can listen the music in 24 hour this day and night cycle. You can listen in any time. But yes, if you listen the music in a specific time, it gives you the specific kind of benefits. Fine. And that the thing is, if you listen the piece of music in the morning, that Om mantras, okay, the Om song, or else if you just listen simply the music, no words, simply only the rhythm of music you listen, it's not strengthens your only the brain and what is called, as I described about it's lower down your cortisol level, means basically it's relieve you from the stress, or just lower down your blood pressure. It's also strengthens your immune system. There are research which explain that in the morning time, whenever like you are fresh, okay, you sit with a cross-legged position for a 5 minute, and if you listen, there are certain musics available on YouTube, and I will put the link also. If you listen those musics, no, it's basically activate your immune cells. It's activate your immune cells, and whenever you know that whenever your immune system start activating, it destroy the undesirable cells. It start destroying the undesirable cells or the dead cell of your body. So it's also help in the cancer destruction, cancer cell destruction. Music is the universal. It is a great healer. That is why it is widely used in the musical therapies, okay, or you can say it is widely used in the medical science to give the relief to the what is called as the patients. Fine. So this is all about the today's podcast. Let me conclude once again what we discussed in our today's podcast. We discussed that music have no any language. It is the universal language. It is not specific. It is the universal. It is a social glue. It connects the people. Fine. And whenever music hits you, you feel no pain. You feel no pain. And when this music goes to your what is called as the brain, it nearly activate all areas of your brain, and thereby you have the good brain, you have the good thinking. Yes, I myself, if I share my experience, I love to listen the mantras more than the songs and the other things. I love to listen the mantras because like it's give me the sense of fulfillment. It's give me something like, as I mentioned in the first part, no, what we actually want is the peace. There are topmost, that there are topmost rich person in the world, and if you listen their conversations and all the things, ultimately what they also want is the peace of mind, because great things only, the great inventions only occurs when you have the stillness of mind, when you have the peace in your mind. When you are in the complexity, your act also manifests as a complex. Although our body is designed in a very complex manner, but what our brain understand is the simplicity. Our brain understand the simplicity. We cannot give everything to the brain and say to the brain, okay, now you understand. No, brain need a organized pattern, and then only it's work. Fine. So this music is help you to provide the organization to your brain. That is why I listen the mantras. It give me the peace, and whenever I have the peace, I work properly. I give my 100% to the work. You got my points, and I hope you understand today's podcast. Okay, if you understand today's podcast, hit the like button, share this for those people who are music lovers, and also subscribe our channel. So this is all about the today, and comment what you want in the next podcast, because we need your suggestions, we need your guideline, so that because you are our family member, no, like what I am thinking or what our team is thinking, it is our YouTube family. So the contents, I am not saying that my content is only the best content in this world. No, I am just a single piece in this world. There are so many researchers, so many things that did their so many best. Fine. So you can look everything, but as much as subscriber I have to take care it. So you are my family member. I am giving you the content. I need what? I need suggestions from you. So I hope you suggest me about the good content. So let's meet in the another podcast. Till that, bye. Have a nice day.